Welcome back. Just a few days ago, we heard about two students getting hit on Colfax going to East High School. Pedestrians, bikes, and motorcycles are the ones who get hurt the most since they don't have a car to protect them. Phil Harding with Harding and Associates is not with us today. Instead, it's his colleague, Jeff Kelly. He's here to discuss how to avoid having a collision with a car, as well as what to do if you are injured. Jeff, you are going to be on with us once a month. We will miss Phil dearly, but we're glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
All right, so we're going to talk about why the accidents of a pedestrian and motorcycle being hit are so bad. You know, it's obvious, but let's reinforce that.
Well, we all know that when you're in a car, you have a steel cage, a shell around you, so you're protected in that way.
Right.
As a pedestrian or a bicyclist, motorcyclist, you don't have that protection, so you have to really think about other ways to be seen and avoided and not be struck and, run over.
Yeah, what you're saying right now is just, to a mother, it's just one more thing that we have to worry about. I have to worry about everything, plus the drivers who could hit my kids on the sidewalk. How is there a way to even out the odds?
Well, we try to think of ways that, strategies to do that. Some of the strategies would be to wear high visibility clothing, high visibility helmets, such as the one I brought in last month.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And, it's like a fluorescent green type color, reflective items that would be illuminated with headlights from an oncoming car. The other thing that we see is effective for bicyclists and motorcyclists would be headlights that are oscillating, brake lights that oscillate, so they wake up the drivers in front of you, behind you, make sure they see that you're sitting at a stoplight or off the side of the road, and they avoid you.
Right. My son was out riding his bike, it was getting near dark, and he thought he was okay. That really is really good advice, and I'm going to tell him a lawyer said it on TV, because he might listen to you. He doesn't really listen to me, wearing those reflective things. So we're going to look at a couple of cases and look at a couple of pictures. The first one is of a broken bone. What happened in this case?
Well, this is a very unfortunate young lady who was riding her bicycle, and this occurred at night. So even though she had high visibility clothing and some reflective gear, including she had a fixed headlight as well as an oscillating or modulating headlight, and a brake light, she was still had an accident with a car. Now the car did not have, the driver did not have his headlights on. So the problem in this case is that actually the car was not conspicuous to the bicyclist. The other thing is that because the car didn't have the headlights, his headlights on, her reflective gear wasn't illuminated. So the combination was a perfect storm of problems that led to a very serious accident.
One that probably couldn't be avoided. And we also have a picture of the broken bike. I mean, that's tragic. Is this particular person okay?
Yes. Well, she has recovered as well as possible, and there was liability coverage available in that case with the automobile carrier. I want to talk about that a little bit more when you don't have any coverage available.
Right. Okay, and that kind of leads us to the next case. You're talking about is it the phantom driver here?
Yes, and we talked about that before. Sometimes, believe it or not, people don't hang around after they've had a car accident. In this case, this is a motorcyclist who was southbound on I-25 approaching 6th Avenue, and a car at the last minute who was probably side by side with him ran him off the road, probably didn't see him. Now this driver of this motorcycle did not have high visibility clothing or helmet. So the presumption is that probably didn't see him, the driver didn't see him being to the side or a little bit to the front, a little bit to the rear, and that driver left the scene. Now the important thing about that is, and you can see from the diagram, that the motorcycle actually ended up over 5 lanes on the other side of I-25, and he landed on the side of the road. He also recovered, fortunately. And in that case, the way he was protected, fortunately, was he had his own insurance coverage for UIM, we've talked about that, uninsured or underinsured motorist protection, and we had to rely entirely on his own coverage that he brought to the incident.
Because the other driver
was gone.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was gone.
Phantom. So
that's right. So there was no insurance to
That's
draw
right.
from.
There was a motor vehicle collision, and because there was a motor vehicle collision, his coverage kicked in to cover his injuries.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so glad all of those people are doing better. And this is what you specialize. You help people after they've been in these accidents and may be injured. So we want to let you know that Phil will be back next Friday, and if you have any legal questions for him, he wants to hear from you. Just log on to coloradosbest.tv and look for his photo, and you can click right there. You can submit your legal questions, and he really does take the time to answer them personally. He might even address your question right here on Colorado's Best. If you would like to contact Phil at his office, Harding & Associates, the number's 303-762-9500, or you can reach them online at hlaw.org. Thanks, Jeff.